What's up, guys? Lisa He of Borderlands Bakery, and this is Malek.
Hey, what's up?
So Malek is from Texas, and he's visiting me in California, and we're gonna work on some projects together. It's gonna be super fun. We can't talk about that yet, but while we're here, we're going to have a little bit of a chat, get to know each other a little bit more, and make one of Malek's favorite desserts.
Yes, so first of all, I'm very excited to be here, breathing in Lisa's oxygen right now, so I'm very excited about that. But yes, I came to California from Houston, Texas to make one of my very, very favorite desserts. Actually, it's 2-in-1. So I love peach cobbler and I love cinnamon rolls. So one day I was really, really hungry and I just wanted the best of both worlds, so I made that happen a year ago. So today, we're gonna be making a fun dessert called peach cobbler cinnamon rolls. Now, have you made cinnamon rolls before?
I've never made cinnamon rolls, and I stay away from anything that has yeast in it, so I'm really excited because I like to eat them.
Yes, I love to eat them too.
So here's what we're gonna do today. We are going to make the dough, which is like the base of everything, and then we're gonna make the filling.
Yes.
While the dough is proving, and then we're also going to make the drizzle or frosting,
sweet, creamy, delicious frosting that's gonna go on top.
So if you want all the recipes, measurements, things like that, directions, we're gonna put them in the description box below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out Malek's Instagram, Frosted by Malek Benz.
Yes, Frosted by Malek Benz.
Lots of cool
Definitely
stuff on
follow me
there.
on there. Yes, yes, yes. I'll be having fun on there as well. Yes, yes.
All right, so here's all the stuff that's gonna be going into your dough, and remember, all the measurements are gonna be down below.
Yes, so everything that we'll be using for our dough is all-purpose flour, eggs, make sure they are room temperature, they're best for this recipe. Unsalted butter, but however, for this recipe, we have salted butter, so it also includes salt, but we're gonna omit the salt since we're having salted butter because we don't want too much salt. That'd be a high blood pressure, you know what I'm saying?
But like a little bit of salt is good, right? To like balance out the
Yes, it
sweetness.
is. For gluten definitely needs salt. You know, baking is a science experiment. So every time you bake, you know, you gotta think about it like a science fair. So if you're missing an ingredient, it's not gonna go well. So salt is very, very important in all doughs. But since we're using salted butter, we're gonna omit the salt because it's already included. We're also gonna use milk. You can use whole milk, 2%, 1%, doesn't really matter. Mixer is very, very warm. If you have a thermometer, mixer is about 114 degrees and you'll go really, really well. You don't want hot milk because for our yeast, you don't wanna use anything too cold or too hot because you're gonna mess up the gluten process of the dough. Remember, yeast is a live product, it's a human. You don't want to burn it or basically give it hypothermia. And the last one is sugar, white.
With white granulated sugar.
To make it sweet.
A lot of people don't know how to measure flour properly, and the way that you measure flour is Malek's gonna demo.
Yes, dump and sweep, 2-step process. So all you're gonna do is take your measuring cup and you're gonna dump it into the flour. You know, I try to go heavy-handed with it, and then you take like a
straight edge butter knife.
Straight edge knife, offset spatula in type, and I'll just try to like even it out and then just swoop it out.
So
and
that's how you measure
how
flour.
You properly measure dry ingredients. So flour, brown sugar, sugar, that's the way you do it.
And for those of you who follow me, you probably know that I am super strict about having a kitchen scale because that's the only way to really get like 100% precise, but we're using freedom measurements today, so this is gonna be just fine.
Yes, 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 totally fine.
Now that you've seen all the ingredients for the dough, let's quickly chat about the equipment, because you can either do this by hand or you can use tools.
Right, and if you use it by hand, you could use a regular medium-sized bowl, doesn't matter what type, and just use a whisk or a spoon. A whisk would be key because we're gonna be whisking the yeast and milk part, but if you have a spoon, that's fine. And that's that. And then also one of the best free 99 tips tools that you have is your hands. If you're making it by your hands, once you start to mix the dough and it starts to form and, you know, clump, you're gonna eventually take it out, place it on your counter, and then knead it with your hands. And then
otherwise, we use a dough hook, right, as the KitchenAid attachment.
Yes, and if you want to use your KitchenAid mixer or any electric stand mixer, you want to use a dough hook, which is basically, you know, your hands. All right, so the first step, what we're going to do in any yeast dough recipe, we're gonna bloom our yeast.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take our milk and we're gonna pour it straight into the bowl.
Malik's gonna teach me how to do this because I've never done it before.
And I trust you. I know you're gonna.
I don't know if I trust me. Okay,
You got this. You got this. So just pour all of your milk in there.
Warm milk.
Yes, warm milk. Okay, and then after that, you're gonna sprinkle the yeast all over top of the milk.
So what happens if your milk is too hot or too cold and you put the yeast in? Like, what happens to the final product?
It's gonna be dead. It's not gonna do any reaction at all.
So your dough is gonna be dense? Is that what happens?
It's gonna be dense. There's not gonna be any rise or any poof happening. Like, it's just dead. So no life. You're trying to give it life.
And also make sure your yeast is not expired, because if it is expired, we're done.
Yes.
All right, so sprinkle on top?
Yes, sprinkle it all over.
Hey, quick side note. Malik went to culinary school, so he's got some insight that I wouldn't have.
I get a brag, you know what I'm saying? I went to the Cordon Bleu Culinary Arts.
Is this good, or do we need
Yes, you keep stirring. You want to stir it until it's dissolved.
Oh, really?
Yes, stir it until all of the yeast is dissolved.
Bubbles okay? Bubbles?
No, just keep going until like you don't see any of that yeast. You want it to make sure it's dissolved. And then once it's dissolved, you're gonna allow it to sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'll say 3 minutes.
Okay.
Until it gets nice and frothy.
So it'll like bubble up and
Yeah, it'll definitely bubble up after you allow it to sit and rest. But if you don't let it dissolve, you'll start seeing them pieces in the dough, and you don't want that. So you're almost there. I see it starting to dissolve. Make sure you get like everything in the bowl as well. I know sometimes it's difficult, but you're good in there. So like 10 more seconds, and you should be good. Yeah, put that muscle in to work out. All right, you should be good. Okay. So now we're gonna allow this to sit.
Okay.
And we're gonna allow the yeast to develop in the warm milk. And what this is gonna do is just gonna form bubbles. And again, you're giving life into the yeast. So after that, it's just gonna be very frothy and bubbly. And then we're gonna get ready to go do the next step.
Cool. So how do we meet?
How did we meet? I remember you asking me that question, and I really
don't remember. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't remember neither, but I do have a little story that I need to bring up. How nice Lisa is. Okay, so she followed me, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember she's following me, whatever, blah blah blah. But I didn't know that she was paying attention to me.
How long ago was this? It's 2021 right now.
This was probably like 2018. I started my Instagram page 2018. I don't know how you found me. But you did follow me, and I did see your page, and I was starstruck, and I was like, oh my God, she's following. But it's one thing for one person to follow you, like Lisa, but another thing for her to be looking at your stories, liking your posts, commenting, all of that stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. But the one thing that Lisa did was, and you're probably gonna remember this, so remember when my projector was broken? I think I dropped it or something like that. And I posted it, and I was like, oh my God. You know, I was just being dramatic like I am right now. And I'm just like, oh my God, whatever. And this woman here, she and Amanda literally sent me money. I can't remember how much, but sent me money, donated me money, okay, me money to get a new projector. And I was just like,
I remember.
Just so fucking nice. Like, I was definitely grateful, and then I have forgotten about it for like years, because it was like Venmo, so it was on my Venmo, and then I looked down there one day, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot they sent me money to buy this new projector, and I did end up buying a new projector, so thank you so much for that, and yes, she's a sweet, kind person. So that's what I remember. That's my earliest memories from when we met. But how did we meet? I don't know.
We just started talking. I think a lot of people are like, how do you make friends online? And it felt real. You just gravitate towards people naturally. And then when it happens, it happens. There's no need to really force anything. And now he's freaking here in my house. So you never know what could happen via the internet.
I just say be engaged, be yourself. You never know. And I've gotten a lot of friends just being myself. So
tell me what baking means to you.
Okay, so baking. I love baking so much. It's a passion of mine, but I had to really think about this because I did write a book last year in my publishing company. It's called Celebrate with Baking. Love it so much. It's everywhere.
Where is
Amazon, Walmart. It's disappeared.
What?
That's weird.
Do you have it? Did you take it with you when you were writing recipes?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Where did it go? But yeah, so baking, when I was writing my book, my publishing company asked me the same question and I had to think about it. I was like, what does baking mean to me? And then after I thought about it, baking is pretty much a superpower to me, and the apron is a cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how every superhero got like a little cake. It's just ours is backwards, you know. But it's basically a superpower. I love working with it so much. I love how you can come up with so many different things. Like I said earlier, it's a science experiment, so you can definitely test out a lot of things. I definitely love when you make a mess in the kitchen. That's like the one.
Ew. I don't.
I love making a mess, and I just feel like that is the one time that it should be allowed to make a mess. Like when you're making a dough and you know, throwing out a flour all over the counter.
Right? It's like you're going back to like being a kid and just kind of playing and not having to worry about all these different things.
Right, exactly, because you have to do that in order to get the product done.
So did you grow up baking in your family, or like did anyone in your family?
Yes and no. I actually wanted to be a chef since I was like 6 years old. So I was watching PBS. This was around the time when we didn't have no cable, so you know we had PBS and stuff. So Martha Stewart was on, and I was like, oh, like she's actually making a mess, and she's eating it. That's what I want to do, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be a chef, and what I mean by chef is food. But one of the biggest problems that I had, and you found this out the other day, is like I'm very picky. I did not want to put anything in my mouth.
Super picky.
Yes. The texture, oh my god. Everything is good, but that raw salmon at the top is like tripping me out. Super picky. It took me 13 years to put the very first slice of bread in my mouth. I was looking at that like, what is that? I'm not putting that in my mouth. So,
Wait, pause. Why were you so picky? Was it like you didn't get that exposure as a kid, or like nobody gave you an opportunity?
Like, so my family is Caribbean background, so they eat everything. It's just that if something doesn't look good, I'm not, it's just, I don't know, like, you know how they say you eat with your eyes? So that was something that I had when I was a kid. I would just look at it and I'm like, that looks dry, that looks crunchy, that looks very spotty. Picky. I don't like this, and I'm not putting that in my mouth. So it was a lot of things. So I only ate like eggs, bananas, peanut butter as a kid. That was it. That's all you could put in my mouth. If it was a burger, I would take the bread off and eat the meat, and that was that. That was me. And yes, I understand it was very difficult, and I get it. But you know, I've changed. But in the midst of that, I wanted to be a chef, and my mom literally pulled me to the side and was like, you want to be a chef, but you know you have to taste everything, right? And I was like, well, I'll be the first chef that don't taste everything. How about that? And you know.
Gordon would be pissed, you guys.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
And my mom was like, no, that is not going to work. And I did think about baking or pastry stuff, but it was really hard because at that time, baking was like female dominated, and I think it still is.
It still is, yeah.
You know, at that moment, you don't see male bakers anywhere until I saw Cake Boss on TV, and I was like, oh, I'm inspired. Like, you know, this is something I can do. And then I decorated my first cake when I was 13, and...
So it was really cakes that got you started into all of this stuff?
Yes, cakes is what got me started. I feel like that was the easiest thing for me to do, was just to bake a cake and ice it instead of trying to worry about, you know, stuff like this. Like, you know, like I said, I was intimidated at one point with laminated doughs and anything like that. So I definitely did not want to touch that, but I felt like it was easy to just whip up a bowl of buttercream and just put it on a cake. So, yeah, that's how I started baking.
All right, so the yeast has been sitting for about 5 minutes, and we're ready to add everything else to it. I can smell the yeast, which it means...
You can smell it developing, because again, we gave it life. We had life, but you know, we have to give it, you know, alive to make it alive and breathing, so you can definitely smell it. It's definitely pungent and strong, so yes.
What's next?
All right, so the next things we're gonna do is we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients, everything except the flour.
Okay.
So we're gonna whisk in the softened butter.
We're gonna whisk it in?
Yeah. You can just whisk it in, because it will be, yes. And you would definitely want to whisk it in because the butter will be clumpy, and that's totally fine, but, you know. Again, very softened butter.
Here, whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk.
Yes, and then you can go ahead and add the 2 eggs and the sugar. Do you know how to crack one hand? Oh, she's about to prove me. Oh, go ahead. Oh.
I'm gonna get some shells in it.
Hey, she's a boss. She's a boss.
Next one?
Yeah, go right on in. And the batter might look like scrambled eggs. It's fine. It is fine, guys. Don't fret. As long as you put more whisking into it, you just want to whisk it until it's smooth. And then you can go ahead and add in the sugar. Very beautiful.
So like, we don't put any vanilla or anything in the dough?
No.
Okay.
You don't put vanilla in laminated dough.
Okay. Wait, is cinnamon roll technically a laminated dough?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't
Pretty
know.
much, yeah. Anything with yeast is considered laminated dough.
All right, so
Alright, and everything looks good so far.
you
don't have to completely mix it. Like I said, it's gonna look like scrambled eggs.
okay. I was just gonna say that looks not
Yes,
sexy.
it doesn't look right. It's totally fine. It's gonna look like scrambled eggs. You think you did something wrong, you're doing something right. After you mix the butter into your yeast and milk mixer, you're gonna add in your dry ingredients, which is basically flour. And again, the recipe has salt, but because we use salted butter, we don't have salt right now. So if you're using unsalted butter, make sure you add the salt into your flour.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're gonna take out the whisk, and we're gonna switch to a spatula, and we're gonna add in our flour. And we're not gonna add all the flour in because we're not gonna, overwhelm this mixer. We wanna make sure that we're stirring it constantly but pacefully so everything gets evenly combined. So you wanna mix it a cup at a time.
So there's 4 cups total, so 4 additions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a half cup scoop. We're gonna scoop about a cup at a time.
Yes, and I'm just gonna stir it. You don't have to fold it, you can
just get it incorporated, right?
Yes. So now we've already incorporated most of the flour. So Lisa, are you ready to get your hands dirty?
Yeah. Oh, are we gonna do this by hand?
Yeah, before we put it into the mixer, we're gonna make sure everything, I want you to get a feel of kneading the dough. You know what I'm saying? I know we're gonna use the mixer, but I wanna give you a challenge.
I hate using my hands. Okay.
Well, all you're gonna do is just turn the dough out onto the surface. You just wanna get all of that flour that hasn't got into it on the bottom, like all of that.
We're gonna turn it out on here?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And get all of that out. Or show the camera what's in there. You want to get all of that flour out onto there.
So
and just dump it on top.
Okay, so why can't we just put the dough hook on here and start kneading it right
because
now?
From my experience with using electric mixers, it doesn't get the bottom of it. So I just think it's very helpful to just manually just help that in. And all you're doing, yes, you just do a fold and push. See, you already got the kneading process going. How you liking that?
I hate it.
And just get the rest of it in there. You're not gonna need anything. You just want to get everything into it. You got this. You got this. You love it. I know you do. And you can just take this spatula and just.
Well, we have a pastry scraper. We can clean this all up later.
I love the dough. You don't like dough?
No. I don't do stuff with the yeast. But I'm doing it with you. You know, so.
Yeah. Okay, you're good. So you're fine. So you don't have to keep on mixing because we're going to use the electric mixer.
So if you don't have an electric, like a dough hook mixer, you would just keep doing this?
Yes, you'll keep kneading it by hand. You might want to have a little extra flour because it will be very sticky, as you can see. So the more you're kneading it, you're developing the gluten. So that's what you're doing. You're getting the yeast to work with the flour and all of those.
Can we do it by hand?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's actually just do it by hand and see what happens.
Let's do it.
All right,
okay, let's do it.
We're gonna get some flour so that we can dust the surface. And I've just changed the whole game here, and we're gonna do it by hand. I thought this was gonna be like really disgusting, but it actually
it's very relaxing.
It gets like
baking is therapy as well, you guys. So this right here, and you could put all your frustrations into this dough. I mean, I'm really sorry you don't deserve it. But if you ever had like a bad day, just make some cinnamon rolls or laminated dough. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have some extra flour here, and I'm just gonna take some and just sprinkle it. I'm so sorry.
Oh my! It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Here you go.
Sprinkle it on the dough, y'all, not on the human. And you don't need a lot. As you can see, like you've been kneading it so far, and it has gotten less sticky.
Yeah, this is actually.
And for those of you that don't know how to knead, it's just basically how she's doing. It's a 2-step process. You're gonna turn the dough and push. Turn the dough and push. And you just keep doing that until the time desired for any laminated dough that you might have. So for this, Lisa, I hope you're ready. You're gonna be kneading this for 5 minutes straight.
I got
you ready?
So It feels different. It feels different.
Yes,
It
yes,
kind of feels like
yes.
pizza dough.
Love it. And yeah, it's been 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay, so does this look right?
It was not that long.
It feels good. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it wasn't
feels
that bad. So if anyone's intimidated, they've never done it before, it's not that bad.
Yes, and the only way to feel if you have developed the gluten really well, all you gotta use is your finger and poke it, and you're gonna watch it rise back up.
So we want the bounce back.
Yeah, we want the bounce. So if you just poke and it comes back, see?
God,
I
my
just
nail.
did that. Yep, that's what you want. And if it doesn't do that, just keep kneading more for about.
How do we know it's overdone?
If it was overdone, if you was to poke it, you would not see that poke. Like it was just.
Stay.
Yeah, it would just be like this, and if I were to poke it and it still did that, and if it was not like tough, that's how you know it's over.
Okay, so we're gonna let this, what are we gonna do with this guy now? We're gonna let
Okay,
it
so
rise?
all we're gonna do is
Put it back in the bowl?
Put it in
Do you
the
wanna
grease.
put some grease in the bowl?
Yeah, I'll put some grease in here.
We're gonna put a little bit on the bottom.
In the bowl. So we're just gonna add it directly into the bowl, just a little bit. And then we're just gonna swirl it around, and then you're just gonna take the dough.
Do I need to like shape it or anything like that?
No, you're fine. If it was not shaped correctly, all you do is I can show you. You're just gonna take the dough and just take
Make
a
it a
piece
little
of it
round.
and bring it down.
Okay.
Just to give it.
Make it look like a little bread thingy.
Yes, and then all of the dough comes down, so you have a smooth surface. And then what I'll do is I'll take the dough, put it head first down, just so it gets contact with the oil, and then turn it around.
Okay.
And then you'll just cover it and allow it to rest until it's doubled in size. Or allow it to rise.
Doubled in size. So it
Yes.
takes about an hour in
About
like
an
room
hour,
temp?
yes. And you want to put it in a warm surface, about
Okay.
72 degrees. That's the ideal rising
Okay.
temperature for laminated dough. If it's too cold, you're going to kill the gluten. If it's too hot, it's going to rise too fast. It's just like if you put bread in a hot oven, it's going to crust faster than the inside. So that's the same way for a laminated dough. If you put it in a hot area over 72 degrees, the crust will rise and everything. You'll start to get a lot of holes in your bread and stuff like that.
So do we cover it with saran wrap?
Saran wrap or a kitchen towel.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna do a fun experiment just to show you how much double in size it will get. And all I'm gonna do is take a Sharpie. You don't have to do this at home. And I'm just going to circle the size that it is. So then once it finishes rising, you're gonna see how much difference it
So
is
it's like
after.
he circled the size based on like his perspective, right?
Yes.
So when you come back, just make sure you're at like the same angle and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and we're gonna let it rise for an hour.
And while we are making the dough, while we are proofing the dough, we're going to make the filling as well as the drizzle, the frosting that goes
the
on
glaze
top,
of
right?
icing.
All right, so while the dough is rising, we are going to be prepping the filling. And the filling is going to be made with canned peaches, cinnamon, nutmeg, cornstarch, brown sugar, vanilla. And we've got a cutting board here to prep our peach slices.
Yes.
And then we have a sieve just to kind of get rid of the excess juice, but don't throw it away. We're going to reserve it and use it. So Malik's going to lead you through that.
Yes, so what we're gonna do is we're going to, first step, take your peaches. We're making peach cobbler cinnamon rolls, so you can't make peach cobbler without the peaches, main ingredient. And you can use fresh peaches if you want to, but I would use canned peaches because we're gonna use the juice for the filling as well as for the topping. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Also, it's way easier because we're lazy. And we
Yes.
don't have to cut a peach.
That's true, yes, that's true. Because who wants to sit and cut peaches all day? I mean,
Skin 'em,
respect to you
everything.
if you do that, but that's all good. So I'm go ahead and open up a can of,
Well, how big is this can? Let me see.
yes.
14.5 ounces, like a standard.
Yeah, that's
All right, do we
good
just do
amount.
it?
Yes.
This is the one with no sugar added.
Yes,
so
it's best to use no sugar added because we already have sugar and we're going to be using brown sugar. So we don't want it to be overwhelmingly sweet. Definitely want to balance
it's
that
not
out.
like that much juice.
Yes,
honestly.
it's not a lot of juice. It's definitely okay. So we're going to go ahead and drain that out. And then we're going to go right ahead into cutting the peaches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to slice and dice the peaches. We want it to be evenly bite. So when you're eating your cinnamon roll, you want a bite of peach in every bite. So it's the same way in peach cobbler. So this is overwhelmingly too much. So all I'm gonna do is take a peach and
I asked Malik if we could just mash it up with a fork, and he was like, no.
No, we don't do that in peach cobbler. She definitely offended me with that question. So, no. And all I'm doing is taking a knife. This is a nice knife.
Right.
Yes.
Nakano knives, thank you. If you guys want a 20% off, we'll drop that coupon code here.
Ooh.
It's not an affiliate thing, it's just a 20% off for you guys. So.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get that because that's a good knife. I
Yeah.
like this. So, yes. And oh my gosh. Look
So
at
like
that.
we can be crazy with this. Like once you've gotten the basic dough recipe down, you could do whatever flavor you want.
Pretty much. You could even add nuts to this if you wanted. Pecans, walnuts would go really good in this. You can do any other fruit. Blueberry cobbler would go good with this. To me, in my opinion, I've tried that one time. A mixed berry cobbler, apple pie. I mean, it's the same thing. Just switch out the peaches with apple.
Very
It would
excited.
go really, really
I'm
good.
super excited about this. Okay,
Yes.
so we're gonna let this just kind of sit.
Yeah, we're gonna set it aside and
Okay.
then we're just gonna make the frosting.
All right, so
We're gonna
filling
make
is
the
made.
frosting.
We're gonna make the frosting.
Yes, the frosting, which you should have in every cinnamon roll. There are people out there that do not want that, and I am going to judge you for that because I love icing on every cinnamon roll. So this is definitely important. So what we're going to do is we're going to melt our butter, and you can just put the butter in a microwavable safe bowl and just microwave it until it's melted.
We
and
want to
that's
like liquefied, right?
it. Yes,
liquid, okay.
completely.
All right, so our butter is melted. What's
melted,
next?
and all we're gonna do is add in powdered sugar. I like to do that first because it's kind of okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in a cup of powdered sugar. This is a wait a minute. You gotta make sure you pack it. Make sure you pack it. Okay, there we go. I almost did not follow my rule. Okay, so I'm gonna add it in a half a. Okay, I'm gonna add in a cup of powdered sugar.
He's packing it right now.
Yes.
He's like making sure it's condensed. So
Yes, to make sure it is full. And come out, there we go. Perfect, okay. And then we're gonna add in the rest of the ingredients.
cinnamon.
Yes,
Freedom measurements for your cinnamon
Yes.
because we like cinnamon.
Yes.
That's a lot. So I
yes,
will
just a little
do
bit.
that.
Okay,
Okay,
that's,
sorry, I was gonna be
that's-
crazy. Oh shit! I'm gonna
It's
move
okay.
that away.
We love cinnamon
We like
and
cinnamon.
vanilla. A little bit of vanilla.
Do we put the milk in now, or do you want to mix that
No, you
up?
put in the milk now.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
So a kind of a splash or so,
yes
like
a
2 to 3
splash.
tablespoons.
A little teeny splash. Let's see what the definition of Lisa splash. Okay, that's good. There we go. Wonderful splash.
That's it?
Yes. Yes.
Is that
and
gonna do
now,
anything?
Easy step is to stir until it's all together.
And we still got peach syrup, right? If we want to water it down a little bit, or
Yeah, if it becomes too thick, because some people like it too thick. I like it thick. I don't like it on the runny side, because I want to be able to spread it on the hot cinnamon rolls, and
Okay.
I want the heat from the cinnamon rolls to melt it. So
Okay.
some people like it thin. So if you want to thin it out, you could use the peach reserves or some milk to thin it down. But I love it thick, just like so. So this is,
it's kind of goopy looking. That's okay.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
perfect. That's what I like.
All right.
All right.
All right. So our dough has been rising for an hour,
And as you can see,
yeah.
it has doubled in size from what we had left it before. So if you have this result, wonderful. If it's not doubled in size, just let it rise a little bit longer, because that means your ideal temperature is not warm enough. So just put it in a warmer spot. A great tip is you could put it in a warm oven. That works as well.
Like with the light on or something.
Yeah, with the
like
light
that?
on. Not a hot oven, just the lowest temperature you can. I've also tried like leaving it in the bathroom with the shower on. Don't judge me, but it works. And yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
So,
next?
So now we're going to roll it. And I know you're gonna love this part because you're going to touch the dough once again. Okay. And what you'll need is a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, I've used a wine bottle in college and it worked the same. So you wanna make sure you sprinkle flour on your surface so it doesn't stick, and also on your rolling pin and on your hands. Make sure you got everything well coated. Go ahead and give you the dough. Oh, actually, you can punch it. Yes, go ahead and punch
Are
it.
we ready?
I forgot. So you do want to punch the dough
What does
to
that do?
release air.
Why do we want to release that?
You don't want air bubbles inside of your laminated dough. So go ahead and punch it, and I knew she was excited about that part. And then you
Turn
can
it out.
remove everything out. And then I'll take this from you.
So do we like have to be gentle here, or like what's the situation?
You can be gentle. I think that's the best key because you don't want to, again, overwork it.
And it shouldn't be like super difficult and resistant,
Yes,
right?
it shouldn't. You can do the same thing. Just poke it, and it should be able to
Spring back
bounce
up.
back. So yeah,
So
go ahead and
what shape
flour.
we want to roll in? What shape are we
Oh,
rolling?
we're rolling it into a rectangle. I was
Okay.
gonna say that. So you want to make sure that you're getting like a 11 by 14, but I should be able to show you. So you want it to be, yeah. There you go.
So here's the thing. I've made croissants before, like by hand, and I noticed that when like your dough comes out and you're layering and rolling, it should actually roll out really easily and not be pulling back in on itself, right? It should just stay.
But if it does, that's great because that's just letting you know that the gluten has worked.
Okay.
Because you want to have that bounce or that resistance. So that is totally fine. So yeah, you should be fine. So I would roll this way, out.
And then this way.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Whoop.
There you go.
So are we gonna be rolling it this way or rolling it this way? This way?
No, you want to make sure it's a rectangle. So this is a perfect rectangle, so that's fine. So as long as you got the length is going to be here and the width is going to be there, so you're fine.
Is that big enough? Do we go a little bigger?
A little bit more. And if you also, you know, are uncomfortable with the rolling pin, you could just take your hand and just pull it out a little bit.
Like pizza dough?
Yeah, like pizza
There we
dough. And
go.
just stretch it out a little bit just to help you out. And you're going for like a, I don't want to say a 1/4 inch, maybe like a,
Less
between a
or
1/4
more?
and a 1/8 inch. What
Okay.
is that?
I can't math. Right
That's
now.
math, but don't want it too thick and too thin. And you'll know, and like I said, the general size is an 11 by 14, and this looks perfect right now.
We're gonna
So
stop it right there.
That's amazing. So now the next step we're gonna do is put the filling right on top. And all you're gonna do
Spread
is
it?
dump it and spread it. That's all you're gonna do.
So it's pretty liquidy, is that okay?
That's fine, because the cornstarch is in there that we put earlier is gonna thicken up
Okay.
once it starts to bake. And evenly spread it out.
And we need to get
it's
a-
okay if some peaches doesn't go everywhere, because once you roll it, the peaches will be through.
Also, so what kind of pan are we gonna be baking these?
We're gonna be baking it in a 9 by 13 sheet pan. Okay, so we're gonna roll. So you
This way?
Yeah,
Or
we're
this
gonna roll it. And all you do is just pick up one side and just fold over. And make sure you're rolling tight. And again, the liquid is gonna be thin. That is okay because we have cornstarch in it. And as it cooks, it's gonna thicken up. You're just gonna pick it up.
Here, do you wanna do it from this side? So you can like push? Is that
Yes,
easier?
that works, yes.
So you can kind of tell he's like pulling it out a little bit and then kind of folding it over.
Yes.
Do you need more flour? You good?
No,
Okay.
I'm good. I'm just pulling and rolling. Pulling and rolling.
Now can we like pull this over?
Yes, I'm gonna do that. And then once you get to this point, you can just take this and just wrap it right on over it. And then you can just take your little fingers and just pinch these two together, just to give it a
Secure it,
seam.
yeah.
And that's it. Right there.
So how are we gonna cut this? I've seen people use knives, I've
Okay,
seen
yes.
people use floss. What do you like? What do you like? What do you prefer?
I like a floss because I like clean edges. When you use a knife, you're gonna be applying pressure and you're gonna be messing up the roll. And then a lot of people like to move their knife back and forth, and that's
Yeah,
going to
like-
mess up the shape of the roll. So floss gives you a nice, clean, smooth edge.
Got the good stuff.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ready?
That was aggressive, okay. Okay, do you have the pan ready? We're gonna make
All
sure you
right,
have
so
your
we
pan.
also need the pan and we're gonna
Yes. Spray it with
spray it.
non-stick.
non-stick baking spray with flour.
my favorite. Give it a generous amount.
Generous amount? Mm-hmm. So why do you like the kind with flour versus like pan?
I like the flour spray because it's made for baking. The other ones like butter, I feel like it cooks it and caramelizes it. This one just helps
release.
Yes. All right.
It's really bad
I need a bowl. Wait a minute. What I do is I know I'm gonna fit 12 in here, so the math that I like to do in my head is I'll take this whole loaf and eyeball it in half. So I'm just gonna look about half.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just gonna mark it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not cutting it. I'm not applying nothing. I'm just marking what's half. And then what I'm going to do with this half, I'm gonna put it in thirds. So I'm gonna mark this loaf, this half in thirds, as well as this side. It's gonna be in thirds. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now what I'm gonna do is mark everything else in half, and that's gonna double it into 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 rows. And that's a great little guide for you to cut your cinnamon rolls. Now, I'm gonna take your dental floss, and to cut a roll, all you're gonna do is slide your floss underneath the cinnamon roll, and you're gonna take your hands and grab both ends, and you're going to wrap it over, cross it, and you're gonna pull it, and it's gonna cut it.
All right,
Just
look
like
at how
that.
satisfying that is.
And you just pick it up, and boom, look how perfect that roll is, and you just put it right in your pan.
All right, let's try, let's try.
Very easy.
Never done this.
I know Lisa got this. I got faith in you.
Oh, it's so
Was that satisfying?
Yeah.
That was satisfying, yes. Now it might fall apart because of the pieces, but it's okay if it falls apart because it will give you that caramelization on the bottom once you bake it.
Hey, you know what? As you do this, I'm pretty sure that just like anything else, you'll get better at it and it'll start looking better and
of course,
all that good stuff. All right, so we've cut everything and everything is placed on here. Now we need to go through a second, let it rise again.
Yes, we gotta let it rise again because we have flattened the gluten by rolling it to fill it. We gotta allow the gluten to rise, double in size again, so it can get back to its normal state.
Another hour? Like
another like 20 to 30 minutes, not an hour. Yeah,
okay.
not that.
So do we cover it with saran wrap?
Yes, cover it with saran wrap or kitchen towel, and just put it back in that warm spot that you did earlier, and allow it to double in size, and then it's ready for baking.
All right.
And we're back after we poofed the cinnamon rolls. After about a good 20-30 minutes, they have doubled in size. As you can see, I did a little dance, you know, because they did what they're supposed to do.
They look good.
And they look wonderful. I love how the pieces are like
you can see them
beautifully. Yep. And like I said, and actually it looks like the sauce has thickened up just a little bit. But
once we bake at 350 for about 18 to
22 minutes.
18 to 22?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 18 to 22 minutes. You want to check on it a little bit to make sure, because sometimes it could look like it's cooked, but in the inside it's not cooked.
How do you check?
You can take a toothpick or a
like
fork.
Cake? Like testing a
tester.
cake?
Yes,
okay.
just like testing a cake, and just stick it inside of the dough part, not the filling.
More in the middle,
filling will
right?
seem wet.
Okay.
You know, it will seem wet instead of the dough. So you definitely want to test that out like that. But yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're ready to go in the oven, and then we will see you after they get baked. We're gonna put on the frosting, and then we're gonna taste test them.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Malik, how does it look? Hey, come look at them. Can you see them?
My baby's growing up.
Yeah. They look good. So here's a question: are they supposed to brown?
Yes, you want it to look golden brown.
Okay, so let's peek.
Yes,
We're gonna
let's
peek
take
together.
a
You ready? You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Little peek.
Okay, they're not ready. They are not ready. They need to be golden brown.
Oh yeah, they're not.
So I actually think
Pictures are deceiving. Okay, so you put it for 20 minutes, right?
I put it for 20 minutes.
Okay, so you could do like 2 to 3 more. Just do 3 more minutes, just to be safe.
That's it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the temp up a little bit because it's looking a little low on here. And then I'm going to do timer 3, We should be good. Everyone's like, do you sit in front of your oven and watch your baked goods bake? And yes, I do. Do you sit in front of your oven?
Yes, I do have my Buddhist bake-off moment when I'm staring at the oven, trying to make sure it is doing what it's doing. So yeah, I feel like that's every role of a baker. We all do that, right?
Yeah.
It's better than opening the oven. We just look at it. I think that's the perks of having an oven light.
So we're trying to figure out if the cinnamon buns are done, and Malik is going to test them using one of our naked scribes from borderlandsbakery.com. Okay. No more advertising. All right, you ready? Get it.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
That's totally
okay.
fine.
It's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes. All right. So how long do we wait before we spread the?
I do it right away.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
you know
Let's
what
go.
I'm
Let's
saying?
go.
We're ready to go. You know. Okay, so the icing is gonna stiffen up because we made it in advance. All you gotta do is give it a good little stir, and it will get to the right consistency that you need. So it's not a lot, so definitely be generous. And it is thick, and once you spread it while it's hot, it will melt. So I'm just gonna take some. Do I need to like do it slow, or just do it? Okay.
Just do it.
So just spread it on there.
You can see how it's melting
It's
as it's getting
melt.
on there.
Yes.
Yum.
Yes, oh my God. And I'm gonna try to get everyone coated first
Before adding more.
before adding more because I am very, very greedy.
Feel free to like double the recipe, you guys, if you're
Yes.
really into the frosting sitch. Or like, you know, have a side of frosting.
Yeah, I might do that.
And it's so quick and easy to whip up the frosting that you could easily make more if you need to.
Yep. You can see like it's already melting over there. And this is straight out of the oven.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it. So like, do you eat it right away or like?
Well, we just took it out of the oven, so of course we don't want to burn our hands or our mouths. So I would, but I'm not gonna risk that on today's episode. So I'm just gonna tell you to let it cool
Couple minutes,
for
right?
about a couple of minutes,
Okay.
and then after that, you're ready to go. No more waiting. I'm just ready to go.
Woo! Okay. I'm gonna put it in this bowl because we want to soak up all that.
I was
Good
gonna
frosting.
ask the same thing. I didn't know if it was too crazy, but
No,
I'm
it's
glad
not
you said
crazy
that.
at all.
Okay, so let me leave that up in there then. All right. Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that. Okay, do we
Cue
need
the
like a
angel music
shot
song.
of this? It's good.
Yes.
Thank you for teaching me how to like.
Of course. It
roll
was
them
easy.
out.
Not that much ingredients.
Not
Most
not
of them
at
you should
all,
have in your pantry.
Honestly, yeah. You can customize it however you want. Don't want peaches? No peaches. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go for the center because that's me. Oh, comment down below if you are edge or center.
Malik is like having a moment with this cinnamon roll.
I am. I'm gonna grab me a peach on this too. Well, that might be a lot, but I don't care.
It's really hot. I'm scared to burn myself. It's good. So, here's where this is really good. I love peaches. I'd put even more peaches in there. I
Doesn't
just
it give a
like
feel of
it's
peach
so
cobbler?
good. Yeah, it
The
does.
cinnamon and the nutmeg and then the icing.
You can almost put like a crumble on top even
Yeah.
and like even do more, which is crazy. Ice cream, crumble and ice cream.
I was gonna say that. I'm from Texas, Bluebell. This will go right on top. I'm just saying. And while you go ahead and
Well, that was it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the cinnamon roll recipe and enjoyed knowing Malik a little bit more. This was
Thank you
super
for having
fun.
me.
We're gonna have some classes that are gonna be coming out, so definitely be sure to be on the lookout for that. Be sure to like and subscribe and Check out
Follow
Malik's
me
stuff.
on Instagram, Foster by Mini Spins, and I'll see you over there. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go ahead and walk away with this, and I'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.
This good.